The right thing to threaten Russia and to try to interfere. So when you're dealing with a nuclear power, of course you have to calculate all the possible outcomes of your behavior. That's what I'm going to say.
But is Russia committing war crimes in Ukraine?
I don't think we're committing war crimes in Ukraine. Of course, it's not up to me to assess. I'm not there, you're not there. You're looking at the videos, you're looking at the many of videos who are considered to be fake news.
Are you saying that the civilian homes, playgrounds, hospitals, theatres have not been targeted by Russia in Mariupol?
They were not targeted. And you know it very well. We said from the very beginning that our military is not the threat for civilian population in Ukraine.
Can I show you what the US believes is evidence of war crimes? These are pictures taken by our colleagues at Associated Press, independent news site. These are apartments on fire in Mariupol, hit by Russian missiles.
How do you know it's Russian missiles? Because there is a self-defense.
What is your suggestion that the Ukrainians are bombing?
I will tell you.
Their own building?
It can easily come from Ukraine, from the center of the city. It happened in Kharkov. It happened in Mariupol, because they have their own missile launchers, and a lot of cases that I know are reported from Ukrainian missiles themselves.
Ambassador, with respect, I think that's preposterous. The idea that this amount of destruction.
I think it's quite logical. It's not preposterous.
Mr. Polyansky may not believe Russia is guilty of war crimes, but the US says they are. The International Criminal Court will ultimately decide. But with every wild claim being made by its diplomats, Russia becomes increasingly isolated on the world stage. Martha Kellner, Sky News, New York.
Martha Kellner in New York. The Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, has dismissed criticism that yesterday's spring statement didn't do enough to help families in the greatest need, insisting that lower-income families were his priority. The Office for Budget Responsibility has warned that the UK is facing its biggest drop in living standards on record as wages fail to keep pace with rising prices. So what did the Chancellor announce to help struggling families? Let's have a look through the announcement. The Chancellor's first big announcement was to cut fuel duty by 5p until March next year. Homeowners who install heat pumps, insulation and solar panels will pay zero VAT for the next 5 years. He resisted calls to cancel a planned increase in national insurance contributions, but the threshold at which people will start paying will increase by £3,000 from July. He also pre-announced a future tax cut, saying income tax will be reduced from 20 to 19p in the pound by 2024.
First and foremost, the fact that we've experienced, as I said, a pandemic. That was a pretty exceptional episode in our country's history. Borrowing spiralled up to levels we haven't seen since the Second World War, biggest economic shock in over 300 years. And had to introduce interventions like furlough. I think most people will understand that an exceptional experience like that probably does lead to an exceptional response, and that's what we're now grappling with, the aftermath of COVID. I do believe the policies that we're putting in place will help those people on low incomes disproportionately, in fact.
And if you can, scan the QR code there on your screen right now, you'll be able to listen to this morning's Sky News Daily podcast. Today, Rob Powell explores what the spring statement means for all of us with our business correspondent Helen Ann Smith and Financial Secretary to the Treasury, Lucy Fraser. You can subscribe to the Daily wherever you get your podcasts. The Chief Executive of P&O Ferries will be questioned by MPs later at a Common Select Committee hearing. Peter Hebblethwaite is expected to be asked about the legality of making 800 workers redundant without notice. Our business correspondent, Paul Kelso, is in Dover for us. Paul.
Yes, this is a hearing that has been called at short notice by the committees, the joint committees, select committees that look at transport and business, brought together to look into what is an extraordinary episode already in British Labour relations, a brazen act of summary sacking by P&O a week ago today. I'm outside the RMT headquarters Maritime House in Dover, where members of the union and some of those employees, those 800 employees who were sacked without notice, last week have gathered to watch the hearings. The Select Committee hearings have begun by hearing from legal experts, barristers, maritime law experts and professors of law. And in the first session, they've been told pretty unequivocally that in the view of all three lawyers that have given evidence, there are multiple breaches of the law, it would appear, by P&O, failing to notify the Secretary of State in advance that a large-scale redundancy was being planned, failure to provide 45 days' notice. And despite the fact there are many technicalities here, the company that employs the workers is registered in Jersey, the ships are registered overseas. It was the view of the lawyers present that that wouldn't affect the judgment of employment tribunals, which might look at the reality of the situation for the fired workers, which they are based here in Dover, in the UK. P&O's headquarters is just up the road. One of the lawyers, in fact, said this isn't fire and rehire, it's fire and rehire on steroids. The unions are currently giving evidence to MPs, and then we will hear from 11 o'clock from Peter Hebblethwaite, the chief executive of P&O, who has effectively been in hiding ever since this move came. He's refused multiple invitations to come and speak in person. They've had a public relations catastrophe, really, from having announced this without notice, hidden behind statements. Only yesterday did Mr. Hebblethwaite offer a brief apology to the workers he's fired. He says it's essential, otherwise P&O itself would go down. It would be sunk. There would be no jobs at all. Well, he will face some pretty stiff questioning, one imagines, from MPs from 11 o'clock. We wait to see if P&O intend to do anything about reversing this decision. Thus far, it doesn't seem so. They appear to want to pay off the workers, offer what they call enhanced terms, pay them money effectively to go away. There's no sign so far that they're rowing back on this decision. I'll have to wait and see if there's any glimmer of hope for the employees who've gathered here and who are wondering what their futures hold when we hear from Mr. Hebblethwaite in the next hour.
Paul, thanks so much, and we will bring you that testimony live when it begins. Let's pivot back and get a little bit more reaction to yesterday's spring statement now, live to our political correspondent Tamara Cohen in Westminster. Tamara, we ran through some of the key points that the Chancellor announced yesterday, just earlier. How many people will really feel significant help from those measures?
Morning. Well, in the cold light of day, a lot of people won't and are going to go through a very tough time this year. You talked about that figure from the budget watchdog showing the biggest fall in living standards in decades. And despite a number of the tax cuts that the Chancellor outlined yesterday, the tax burden is, for most people, also going to be rising, and that coming with inflation and rocketing energy bills means that there's going to be a real financial squeeze. When you look at some of the measures the Chancellor announced yesterday, some of them are pretty big measures, but they are simply reversing cuts that taxes that he has or is about to levy. So look at the national insurance rise. That's coming in on the 1st of April. He's now said he's going to raise the threshold, so a lot fewer people will be paying it when those changes come in July. So people will be £300 better off, but that tax is only just about to come in. Then you've got his promise on income tax. A lot of Tory MPs thought that was just a signal to say to people, look, when I can, in 2 years' time, I'm going to cut people's taxes further. But it's 2 years down the track. And before that, the thresholds at which people pay income tax have been frozen. So people may see income tax rise if they are just below the threshold before it comes down. Fuel duty has been cut, and the Chancellor was clear that, look, it's gone up a lot and he can't help everybody, but he hoped it would give households some relief. Where there's been a lot of criticism overnight when you've seen some of the analysis by think tanks and charities is for people who are on benefits or other kind of fixed incomes like pensions. A lot of them won't see any help really to cope with the rising cost of living because they're not in work, so they won't benefit from these tax changes. The Resolution Foundation reckons that another 500,000 children will be plunged into absolute poverty by the measures brought in yesterday. The Chancellor said that vulnerable people were his top priority and that they had been helped in last October's budget when benefits were raised a bit. But a lot of charities saying they're very disappointed that he didn't do more there. The Chancellor's message yesterday was we need to shore up our security, that with the Ukraine invasion things are very uncertain, and a lot of senior Conservatives think he will simply need to bring in more measures to help people later in the year. But he did get a lot more tax revenue in than a lot of people had thought, and a lot of it he's kept in his back pocket. Labour say it's for electoral giveaways. The Chancellor says it's because we need to be cautious with our finances.
Tamara, thank you. And just a reminder to watch Beth Rigby interviews tonight. She'll be sitting down with Anousheh Ashouri, who was detained in Iran for 5 years and released last week, along with Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe. Beth will also be speaking to the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak. That's Beth Rigby interviews tonight, 9 o'clock on Sky News, and catch up tomorrow from 8 a.m. on Sky Showcase as well. This is Sky News Today. Coming up, we'll have the latest from the city as the Moscow Stock Exchange resumes limited trading.
Sheet of flame, and it's moving this way.
And over there is Dover.
We track the changes happening to our world right now.
I think it's a procession of the Taliban. There they are, right here.
Would you, as Prime Minister, be able to look them in the face?
Let's have a look at both of those two things.
I just want to say thank you for having the courage to speak to us.
We do genuinely believe in what we do, to show the truth.
I thought there was an astonishing story there.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
The voice. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. The Power Word International presents Doing Good Outreach 2022 Free Medical Screening and Crusade. Theme, Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior. Venue at Vatimne Van, Wednesday 6th April 2022. At Vatimne Ambejofe, Thursday 7th April 2022. At Vatimne Biakpa, Friday 8th April 2022. At Vatimne Jongwefemne, Saturday 9th April 2022. Free medical screening starts at 6 a.m. each day. Crusade starts at 7 p.m. each night. To support this worthy cause financially, kindly contact us on WhatsApp 0044 7851 205626. Email admin@thepowerwordint.co.uk or donate via website at thepowerwordint.co.uk. Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior.
Run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ, beloved. Run. Now is the time. Now is the day. Today is the accepted and appointed season for you to run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodoma, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
It's your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the King Makeup about for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun.
All
stay
around
blessed.
the world.
In your car,
At work.
at home,
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you
ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile. If you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you're listening to Starr Radio.
If I know say you happen,
As God say he go do and if I no say it go happen, it go happen, it go happen. If I no say it go happen, as God say it go do.
This is Starr Radio.
Starr Radio. Radio for the people. Vibe.
Yeah. One more time. It go happen. Everybody. It go happen. Certainly. Yeah. Listen.
Hello, welcome to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. On the 24th day of March, the year 2022. And the time now, 10:37 from the hearts of London. It is the Thursday edition of the morning show. But like my normal greetings, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. And those of you on other planets as well, we salute you all and we welcome you to this edition of the morning show. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
It go happen.
From now till 1 o'clock, I'm going to be your captain. I'm going to be zooming you through all the journey. So buckle up. If you are sitting, sit very comfortably. You are standing, hold on to something. This is a flight where people can stand in it, you know, or on board, you know, and get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. And let's take this journey. I tell you, it get bumpy at times. I'll be rest assured I'm going to get you to your destination in peace. But let me say good morning to the crew this morning, or to the team this morning. Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi, Kojo D. Massive good morning to you. Felix all the way in Aberdeen, I salute you, sir. Hope you are doing very, very well. Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, massive good morning. Comfort Heaven all the way in Minnesota. Comfort, good morning to you. I hope you are doing good as well. But a very special day today for my mom. My spiritual mom, I mean. Pastor Mrs. Mary Bruce. It is your birthday today. And mom, I ask that the angels from above minister unto you, and may God open the heavens and cause blessings to come upon you. Good morning and happy birthday to every one of you celebrating your birthdays as well. I salute you all. Well, I think this is a nice tune for you. Well, at times we think that, well, we've gone so far, we've not seen anything happening, and therefore nothing can happen. But some way, somehow, they do happen. So it will happen by Nana Manuel. So don't give up, don't throw in the towel. Hold on to your faith and your belief. And I tell you, some way, somehow, you will come through it. Welcome once again. To all the listeners across the globe, to those of you on the African continent, especially in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Burkina Faso. I think I've got some listeners from Burkina Faso now. I'm from Liberia, from Gambia and Uganda. Tessa Radio, I salute you. The team there, I salute you all. Now, you know what? Interestingly, if you want to listen to us and enjoy all the programs that will bring you, you have to go to your app store, whether it's iOS or Android, and download our apps for free. Just type in Starr Radio Global. It will pop up and just download it. You will see we have Tiso Radio, we have Hosanna Radio, and we got Starr Radio UK there as well. A lot more going to be coming on that platform. So. Once again, welcome to the show. Okay, for those of you who have tuned in for the first time on this program on a Thursday morning, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update. Move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds, known as what? Global Trotting. Then after that, at 11 o'clock exactly, Mr. Olayomi will be coming your way with updates from Nigeria. He'll be bringing you a breather of what happened yesterday on the Niger Voices as well. Then after that, we'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. From archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. If I say it, I have to say it all the time. If it's making the headlines, why not? I promise you, I'm going to touch on it. But at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions wherever you might be. It'll be interesting to know what you think. Well, yesterday we had the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, coming out with the spring budget statement. But well, interestingly, while some are saying, well, it's good, something, it will weather the weather for us a bit, others are thinking, this is Doomsday's budget statement. So what do you think about all that? When the lines are open, we'll allow you to make your take. But hey, remember, tomorrow is Friday, and therefore we'll have our money man who will come and interpret all the nitty-gritties in there. So once again, welcome. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, those of you on the social media platforms. And invite them to like our pages as well. We are transmitting live on all social media platforms. Now, if you post your comments on the YouTube, I promise I'm going to read it. You put it on Facebook, I promise you I'm going to read it as well. But let me say a special good morning to Tassino all the way in Moscow. Yes. And thank you very much to Mr. Frank Davis, who takes the set every Wednesday now to bring you the morning show as well. Okie dokie do. I know I leave you in capable hands, don't I? All right then. Now let's crack on. As God say you go do then if no say it go happen. To my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, good morning to you. Mr. David Kluche, yeah. I hope you're doing very well, sir. And my brother Kwame Chale, in no head check. If you know, get in touch, eh? Yes. All right then, now let's crack on. Now the quote for today says, if you prepare your mind for events that may not happen, it helps you to believe that a better opportunity is around the corner if you keep on working on it. And that sums up what I said earlier on. But it go happen. So keep on keeping on. Now let's move on straight to the weather front. Let me tell you what is the weather like today here in the UK and other parts of the world. Well, this afternoon will be rather cloudy in Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England with a few light showers moving in at times. It will remain mostly dry and sunny elsewhere. A warm day expected. Now, tonight, any lingering showers will die out to leave a dry but cloudy night in Northern Ireland and Western Scotland with mist and fog patches forming overnight. Elsewhere, staying largely dry and clear. But let's come to London and the southeast of England where we're located so that we can tell you exactly what is happening on that front. But you can share with us what is happening in your area. If there is storms, if there is snow, if wherever you might be, if there is sunshine scorching, share it with us. To our listeners in Libya, I salute you all. And this afternoon will continue to be dry and fine with plenty of sunshine for all and very little in the way of any cloud, feeling very warm in the sunshine. The skies will remain clear this evening and overnight, and it will continue dry. It will become a little chilly for most under the clear skies. Top average temperature 20 degrees, the lowest 4 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate, UV level moderate, pollution moderate. Sunset is going to be 18:20 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 05:55 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you. 10:45 the time. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll bring you the travel update. Don't you worry, the rest of the song, I'm going to make sure that you enjoy it all. It go happen, whatever happens. Yeah, definitely. Some way, somehow, it does happen, doesn't it? Yes, so it go happen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Check it out. Keep your eyes on the road.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Well, this is Starr Radio UK and your travel updates for you. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'm born. Now, moving on straight to the underground this morning. Good service throughout, apart from the northern line. That is partly closed, and that is between Morgate and Oval via Bank, London Bridge, Barrow, Elephant and Castle and Kennington on Monday to Friday. So please check before you leave. The other side, there is good service on London Overground, TFL Rail, DLR, and London Tram Lake. I'm moving on straight to the river bar this morning. Yes, I heard Frank saying that, well, he thinks that commuters should sue the mayor for causing the Woolwich Ferry to be on strike and delays there as well. But, well, Woolwich Ferry today is operating but at a reduced service. That aside, all the others, good service. But keep your eyes on the roads, and we'll keep you navigated, I promise, our bond. Now moving on straight to the National Rail. On the National Rail, the first one, Penang Express, Gatwick, has got minor delays. Gatwick Express, Great Northern, Great Western Railway, Great Anglia, Southern, Thames Link, and Transport for Wales have all got special service. But keep your eyes on the roads. On the final segment of the travel update, that's the major roads in London. A1 has got closures, A316 closures, A4 closures, Central London Red Roads closures, South Circular A205 closures there as well. And as I will say all the time, well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. The Power Word International presents Doing Good Outreach 2022 Free Medical Screening and Crusade. Theme, Run to Jesus Christ, Your Only Savior. Venue, Avatime Van, Wednesday, 6th April 2022. Avatime Amejofe, Thursday, 7th April 2022. Avatime Biakba, Friday, 8th April 2022. Avatime Jongwefeme, Saturday, 9th April 2022. Free medical screening starts at 6 a.m. each day. Crusade starts at 7 p.m. each night. To support this worthy cause financially, kindly contact us on WhatsApp 0044 7851 205626. Email admin@thepowerwordint.co.uk or donate via website at thepowerwordint.co.uk. Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior.
Run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ, beloved. Run. Now is the time. Now is the day. Today is the accepted and appointed season for you to run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK. Let me say good morning to Reverend Michael Asiama and the Power Word International. Yes, donate because they're going to do some charitable work in Ghana. And those who cannot go to, they don't have the means to go to the hospital for checkup and stuff like that. Well, they are reaching out to them. So what you can do, every little helps. You can donate something to them. What about that? Okay, it is Starr Radio UK. It's now time, 10 minutes to the top of the hour, and that means it's time for Global Trotting. So let's go on, let's crack on. Well, when it comes to Nigeria, when we have Mr. Olayomi exactly at 11 o'clock, these are some of the stories we're going to be looking at. Now, embittered lover arrested over acid attack on girlfriend for refusing marriage. Oh my goodness. And the girl says, no, I'm not going to marry you. He said, oh, lie. I go pour acid on you, I'm going to destroy you. Well, we'll bring you more on that. The police declare war on economic saboteurs. The Inspector General of Police, Osman Alkali Baba, has declared war against economic saboteurs across the nation. Now, we know where the big hooks are, where those who are siphoning the big monies, they never go after them, the little ones, they'll be coming after them. Well, frustrated Nigerian protests block major road in capital city Abuja over incessant kidnappings. People are fed up now, and they think that they have to take the laws into their own hands. What is the security agencies doing? What is government doing about the whole thing? Well, we'll be telling you more about that once we have Ms. Olayomi at 11 o'clock exactly. But well, it go happen. Whatever happens, it go happen. April is looking good for a by-election. Gabi Ochidakun is saying Well, a leading member of the New Patriotic Party, Gabi Ochudakun, has given indication that a by-election may take place in April 2022. The founder of the Dankwa Institute posted his expectation on Twitter Wednesday evening. He, however, did not disclose in which constituency the by-election will take place. Is it Ajwa Safos or Boga MPs or who? Well, we'll see what is going to happen there. Or the South area. Who knows? Okay, got some stories making the rounds in Ghana. Well, I mobilized sources for MPP even while on suspension, Kwabena Japan says. Oh, he might love the party. He might have loved the party to that extent, you know. No investor is interested in Ghana's junk economy, and Kufuado. Sami Jemfi says. And some people are also calling for the Bank of Governor to be sacked for underperforming over the city. Importers Exporters Association are the ones calling for that. So coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Made of 3 High Court judges, I think Rollins, Kojo Chikata died with the truth, Kwabena Japan says. Well, they'll tell you that the culprits were put on trial and they were sentenced. Okay. What do you think about that? Well, a lot more going to be coming your way here, so don't you go away. Still on the African continent, well, Nigeria launches Africa's largest fertilizer plant. One of the stories making the rounds there. And Egypt hikes Suez Canal transit fees for vessels. You remember a couple of was it last year? Was it last year? Oh yeah, I think so. When that ship got stuck there, and then because of the canal, it blocked the canal, and therefore ships could not go across. And for how many days? There was a proper blockade there.
Alright, let's do this part to say.
Well, we'll be looking more into that. This all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Nigerian opposition candidate Abubakar announces his candidacy. Well, we'll bring you more on that. Would that election even take place? If you followed Mr. Olayomi Koiki yesterday on the Niger Voices, you will be able to tell me what the people were thinking at the time. But as I said, if you missed out on that, you can go to our social media platforms and then watch it there. However, when he comes on, he's going to summarize what they discussed there for you, so you'll not miss out. So continue to stay tuned and listen to us on Starr Radio UK. Well, hotel and helicopter seized from ex-Zambia minister. He is accused of having bought the properties by proceeds of crime, which he denies. You know, interestingly, we have that happening all the time. New party, same fears of dirty tricks in Zimbabwe. Vote. Host of by-election present a key test for the new opposition and their country's democratic credentials. And Somali militants kill female MP in suicide bombing. The Prime Minister terms the killing and assassination after twin attacks leave at least 15 people dead. Well, Egypt has decided to seek IMF support amid the Ukraine crisis. The disruption of wheat supply for Russia and Ukraine has triggered high food prices. Why is going to be happening? It will happen. Nigeria, Ghana, West Africa, fierce rivalry. Two of Africa's biggest football rivals go head to head for a place at the World Cup in Qatar. Will be taking place in Ghana.
Some trust in horses, others trust in chariots.
But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now, Western leaders meet to discuss Ukraine support. President Joe Biden joins leaders of the NATO, the EU, and G7 in response to the invasion of Ukraine. And yesterday I heard that sad story of Madeleine Albright, a trailblazer for women on the world stage. Originally born in Czechoslovakia, Madeleine Albright became the first female U.S. Secretary of State. Before Condoleezza Rice came and all that, you know. And then we had who? Hillary as well. But well, Trailblazers there. Well, interestingly, Jeffrey Epstein's private island has been put on for sale. The financier was accused of sexually abusing girls on one of the 2 Caribbean islands, so they are putting it on sale. Interesting. Well, updates, global trotting, updates from across the globe. Nicaragua opposition leader jailed for 8 years. Christian Chamorro is the latest rival of President Daniel Ortega to be handed a long sentence. Well, that's what kind of politics we seem to be playing. We talk about democracy. You think that is democracy? Interesting. LGBTQ people in Iraq live in fear for their lives. A new report describes routine attacks on members of the community, including torture and murder. 4 killed in Israeli shopping center attack. 3 people were stabbed and a 4th ran over in one of the deadliest such attacks for years. Who were the perpetrators? I bet you know what they're going to say. But we have your name. Syrian president makes historic visit to UAE. It marks Bashar al-Assad's first visit to an Arab country since the Syrian war began in 2011.
Some trust in horses, others trust in chariots, but we have your name.
Well, a veteran Russian reformer has quit a job as Putin's envoy, Anatoly Chubais, who was a special international envoy of the president, is said to have left Russia. Why didn't he stay there? Now, Russian ship destroyed in occupied port, Ukraine says. Well, this is a lot more going to be coming your way when it comes to the UK front. More than 1 million face poverty, a think tank is saying or warning. And prosecution begins over fatal Croydon tram crash. 7 passengers died and 51 were injured when a tram derailed in South London in 2016. So what exactly is going to be taking place there? What exactly are they going to be saying there on that front? Interesting one. I thought no one was held responsible for that. Well. William expresses profound sorrow over slavery. The Duke of Cambridge condemns the slave trade, saying it forever stains the UK's history. Strip search Met officers put on desk duties. The Met says officers who conducted a search for black people recently left the public facing road. And parts of Harry's case to be kept private. Court says the Duke of Sussex is challenging the government's decision to refuse him police security during his visit. Okay, so that is the gist what we're going to be looking at. But hey, more stories might be coming your way from elsewhere, because as on when we are on air, when news break, we'll bring it your way as well. So stay tuned, don't you go away, enjoy the rest of the music, and once we are done, we'll be bringing you Miss Olayomi. Welcome.
Everybody say, it go happen. If we don't say it go happen, certainly. If we say it go happen, if we don't say it go happen, it go happen, certainly. If we don't say it go happen, it go happen, certainly. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Hold on. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Trust in God.
Hey! This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
Listen. Oh, yo, nyamia on diatro. Oh, yo, nyamia on diamond. For ration imu. Ya wakano no be. For ration imu. Ya wakano no be.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
All around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Why am you? All I say.
Only the best music.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's now gone, 5 minutes past the top of the hour, and as you know, we have got the one and only Mr. Olayomi in the house to bring you updates from Nigeria. So wherever you are, don't you go away. Let's cross over to our North London studios. Yomi, good morning.
Well, good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners from around the globe, and welcome again to Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
How are you doing, sir, and the family?
Well, we're doing very well as usual. We give thanks as we continue to say the longer we are alive, the more we should be grateful, because there's quite a lot happening globally that we've got to be concerned about. But when we are alive, and we're still here, we gotta appreciate life, because we're not gonna be here forever. I was just listening to you, talking about the former first female Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright. I remember her very well, during the Clinton and some of the work she put in as well.
Yeah.
And this is why we say whatever we do now is what people will talk about. But that is not exactly the same in Nigeria, because I have about some 30 seconds video that I'm going to be playing the audio for our listeners in the deal of this broadcast this morning, when we talk about the politicians in Africa, mostly in Nigeria and other part of the globe as well.
Interesting. You know, when it comes to Africa, well, we always, while some people are moving forward, we are marching backwards. I think whether we were learning from Michael Jackson's moonwalking or moon dance or whichever it is. Well, let me say good morning to Amayo Jegene. I hope you are doing very, very well. Good morning to you, and thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate your devotion when we come on. Okay, first of all, how was the program yesterday for those who missed the Niger Voices? Because I want us always to bring this one. It will tease them. You can go back to our Facebook page or our social media platform and really listen or watch the whole show there. How was the Niger Voices yesterday, sir? Hello, Yomi. Okay, I think we are missing a bit there. We can't hear you. Hello? Okay, listener, just bear with us whilst we try to sort that out. Olayomi Koike is trying to sort that out. Let's see. Yomi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you because we're transmitting here as well.
Okay, yeah.
A bit of delay. We got to be live with you before we continue to join the broadcast.
Yeah, with the other platforms. Okay.
Yes, we're back with you. Yes, I did hear what you say. But again, maybe you could just take it back a little bit so that I can respond to that.
Yeah, I was saying for those who missed the Niger Voices yesterday, I say it all the time, it's a Wednesday that you don't want to miss. Every Wednesday from 18 hours UK time, you don't want to miss that one at all. But what was discussed, I know we're talking about constitution reform, we were talking about referendum, we're talking about the 2023 election. So what was the whole conversation about there?
Well, like I always say, there's a lot of Nigerians out there. You know, remember, a country that has a lot of stakeholders. You know, the stakeholders are not just the politicians. You know, the stakeholders are also, different individuals. That have different interests. So when it comes to, the situation in Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians are asking the question, which we've been asking as well: are we going to go into a new constitution that will bring down the old constitution and allow millions of Nigerians to decide, away from the military decree? Or is it going to be an election? Yesterday we saw, the whole glamour of Atiku now also declaring for I think it's the sixth time, his intention to become, the Nigerian president come 2023. So that means, we're still waiting for, the current Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, that is currently trending on Twitter this morning for him to run as well, which we're going to have to see whether that is going to happen. So the conversation yesterday, was all around the election, constitution, or a referendum for millions of Nigerians that are saying that we are not Nigerians. We are the indigenous people that was put together during this 1914 marriage that is no longer sustainable. Quite a lot of people are still very skeptical about that. Quite a lot of people, like I was, saying this morning during my early morning conversation with some of our listeners from around the world, when people can say that Nigeria can never be divided, if only we eliminate corruption, Nigeria will be a better place. Some say, let us allow the Yoruba man that wants to contest. Before then, we can decide whether we want to break away from Nigeria. Some are even still calling God. Some say, let's see the evidence and allow a Yoruba person to become the president. Some say that, do we have the law in place for those that are demanding a self-determination and a full referendum? Some even say that I believe in Yoruba, but I also still believe in Nigeria. So you can see that the conversation is still very, very mixed, especially for those that want opt-out for Nigeria and those that are not fully sure. But that was part of the conversation on Niger Voices yesterday, and that conversation doesn't seem to be ending at all.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koike for you, and that was some tidbits, okay? Just snip view of what happened yesterday on the Niger Voices. So if you missed out on that, please just go to our social media platform on the Niger Voices, type it all the conversations that we've had in the past are all there. Okay. Well, let's start it with this sad. Okay, let me take it from here. The Inspector General of Police, Osman Alkali Baba, has declared war against economic saboteurs across the nation. Somebody will say that's quite an interesting topic or an interesting thing to do. But my worry or my concern here is there are big hooks in Nigeria who are raking the money in. Those who get contracts and never, the contract is on paper, it's executed on paper, but when you go on the ground itself, nothing has been done. Now, what is he talking about? Is it going to go about those big hooks, which when the government, the president came into power, or the current government came into power, was saying that they were going to go after, corruption and stuff, but we've not seen anyone who has been sentenced so far. So who is he talking about there?
Well, he's actually talking about the police themselves and some maybe individuals that he believes are trying to sabotage the current system that is in place. The question we should ask is if people are being paid properly, if the welfare is being taken care of, I won't see any reason why anyone wants to come out and also protest against the injustice, and they also not paying a full salary for those that are meant to be paying their salary in the first place. So he's actually talking about those that would be using these coming protests, which is about just 2 days from today. So on 26th, the police are saying that we will come out and protest, even though the presidency have talked about it as well. But this is exactly what we discuss all the time when it comes to not doing the needful for millions of civil servants that are risking their life. Just about a couple of days ago, we saw our police officer and a mopo, a military officer, were gunned down because of the insecurity in Castina, where over 34 people were killed. So the current Inspector General of Police, like you said, Usman Alik Baba, has declared war against economic saboteurs across the nation. Specifically, the Inspector General restated commitment of the Nigerian police force to maintain sustained fight against illegal bunkering, pipeline vandalism, other criminal elements in the country. He was making this declaration yesterday during a parade of a suspect in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, represented by the acting first public relations officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi. The IG revealed that the Inspector General of Police Special Task Force on Petroleum and Illegal Bunkering arrested 42 suspects, impounded about 41 trucks illegal petroleum products.
Well, we hope that they are able to fight corruption. Truly. I wish that our authorities or the security agencies, the government is able to fight corruption, so that the later that we get, we are able to use it. Around ourselves and give people at least a surviving chance of life. But what Amayo says, well, Nigeria is full of drama every day. Nigeria is a drama village. In the issue of a security service like the police, does the police have good antecedents? Who seek equity? Who seek equity must come with clean hands. So he's saying that, well, those who are seeking equity, the IGP and all his people, they've already got dirty hands. So what can they do there? Quite an interesting one. Okay, now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, Justice Oko says as well, Nigerians, what is Boko Haram and what are they fighting for? One or Islamic State like the Taliban? So let's come straight now to some other headline coming out of Nigeria today, the 24th of March 2022 at exactly 11:15. Autonomy disregard Fayemi Akeredolu's opposition. NULG tells Buhari. We know about this autonomy. Currently, there's a lot of issues because some of the 774 local government that we have in Nigeria doesn't seem to have the full autonomy as against the one that we have here in the United Kingdom. The Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees has decried the negative positions of one of the governors, Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State and Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, both in the southwest, respectively, over the struggle for local government autonomy, saying the two southwest governors were the major problem behind the realization of both political and financial autonomy for the third tier of the government in the country. And this would then take me quickly to this video that I was saying earlier when we came on board. Let's listen to that before we move on again in the conversation.
Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There's type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now. Borrow money of the future and eat it now.
So those are the type 1 and type 2. Let's watch the other video that is also coming up.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of...
So there are two types of government. Government is broke, but we see that the current governor of Anambra says, I only met 300 million naira with a huge amount of debt, while the previous governor is still answering charges against money that was missing. So you could see that as we go back to to link that to the autonomy of the state local government that is meant to be the link between the people and the government is no longer functioning. With 774 local government, some of them are already in the hands of the terrorist organization like the Boko Haram and likewise ISIS, where people are actually paying taxes to them as well. So I'm going to take quickly one or two more, come back again to you in the studio. Electoral Act, National Assembly panels appeal tackles Judge Malami insists on amendment. Also, convention, Buhari orders APC to refund monies to candidates who stepped down as well. There is a crisis currently going on in OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University, regarding an appointment. It just seems that the Ooni of Ife, one of the monarch, has also intervened in that communication that came out as well. We're just waiting for that to load up. Once again, this is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. The 19 minutes past 11, as we continue to review some of those headlines as well. So while we are still waiting for that, to pop up, from here, let's go straight to some other headline that is also outside as well. The case of Nnamdi Kanu is still also out there, but let's touch on this. A drunk soldier has opened fire on Borno resident, killed a 3-year-old, 8 others, according to the news coming out of Borno State, in the last 1 hour. Let me go back to that story of the protest against Obafemi Awolowo University Vice Chancellor's appointment within legal rights, according to Ooni. The Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has cautioned indigents and residents of the town protesting against the appointment of a non-native, the Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife. The monarch also assured workers and students of the institution of safety of lives and property. The Ooni, in a statement by his Director of Media and Public Affairs, Moses Olafe, on Wednesday, promised the protesters that their agitation will be given adequate attention, saying protests were legitimate rights and a way to pass message of dissatisfaction across relevant authority. The statement read in part, over the years, the good people of Ife have been superb hosts to the university, even as they enroll their children and equally join qualified workers to qualify and to work in the OAU, a citadel of learning. The Ife community is proud to have partnered and still partnering with the institution through the House of Oduduwa on viable programs and projects capable of projecting Ile-Ife to the outside world as an ancient city ready for the progress and development. while Oba Ogunwusi has rallied major stakeholders to address the issue at hand, Kabiesi appeals for calm, calling on all law-abiding citizens to go about their normal businesses without fear. The good relation between the town and the Gon remains as strong as ever, particularly to the benefit of the younger ones in and outside the university. OAU is Ife, Ife is OAU, and we shall continue to cohabit in peace for progress. So that is the message coming from one of the first-class monarch, the Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II. So I'm going to take one more, come back to you straight in the studio. Once again, it is Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me go back slightly to the other news before we come back again to you in the studio, on this particular edition of the morning show. There is currently frustrated Nigerian protest blocking the main road in the capital city in Abuja over the instant killings. So much killings in Nigeria. Let me come now to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi bringing you updates from Nigeria. Quite an interesting topic that you've picked up there. But let me read Amayo's statement. It said, Army killing 3 innocent kids in Borno State. A case of injustice in Nigeria. The revolution they are afraid of is loading soon. That's quite an interesting one. But let's look at this the OAU that you're talking about, the Obafemi Awolowo University. Now, what has been the criteria of appointing the chancellor or the vice chancellor, whichever is appropriate?
Well, a lot of people will say as long as they're qualified, to have the qualification and the rights, knowledgeable to become a vice chancellor. It is an issue, not just in Ilefe. This also happened in some other state like Lagos State. I believe Lagos also had a kind of similar situation as well. But I think why we have seen this protest in the last almost 3 days now, that people have, they've actually taken all kind of rituals into the front building of this university that I've watched the video, and you can see that the indigene doesn't seem to be pleased that they have not been given the opportunity for a very long time. It's not because of this particular person. It's according to what I know and I've read, is that these institutions have not given the indigene that same opportunity. So again, it is not just about the king discussing this. Even it is crazy. Soyinka faulted protesting Ife indigene. Oni caution protesting Ife indigene against unlawful act. Akeredolu, Oyetola, the both two governors of Ondo State and Osun State, where the universities has also condemned protest, hoodlum dump sacrifice in front of the OAU. So you could see is a very, very big one. The association also said those that staged the protest had the right to express their feeling, either that Tira also consider it strange that scared costumes, peripheral, and other items synonymous with traditional religion adherents were adorned by the protester. You could see that they've actually taken these, to the extreme by bringing rituals right in front of the university.
Wow. Rituals to using that to manipulate the appointment of a chancellor. Wow, that's quite an interesting one. Okay, listen to Star Radio UK. So Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Let's move on to the other stories making the round. But before then, the PDP. How many people have thrown their hats into the ring for the 2023 election?
Well, like I said, yes, it was a glamorous one for them in Abuja when Atiku also came out to say, well, he will give it another go, and he believes that he has the right, requirement and the right, understanding of moving Nigeria forward. It was a full-packed, convention hall in Abuja. But what the question they asked is, I know there is also someone like Dele Momodu that is also contesting under the PDP. I believe Peter Obi also have an interest, but we have to wait and see, because he did say that until the zoning is brought to southeast, that is when he will put his head in the ring. So far so good. It looks like PDP as now also have Atiku, we know that the former Senate at the 8th Assembly, Bukola Saraki, might be putting his intention as well out very soon, because he's been speaking to different stakeholders and likewise, saying that when he's given the opportunity, all his cabinet is going to be used.
Okay. Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. Some updates from there. Amayo says, Africa is my continent. Yoruba nation is my country. Africans, wake up. I see future Africans being repatriated back to Africa. Well, that will be the day that we see it all. But it's all coming away from Star Radio UK. Update from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Archie, as we continue to review some more other stories coming out of Nigeria this morning. I'm just looking at the video coming. Central Bank of Nigeria unveils maize pyramid in Kaduna. That is coming as well from there. The Niger Delta Elders Forum has urged Buhari to inaugurate the NDDC board. Again, we do know that the situation, especially with this kind of bodies, that not that they've not inaugurated them in the past, but it's also, according to them, to dose the tension. What do we know about the NDDC and what is the full meaning? It's called the Niger Delta Development Commission, determined to make a difference, but maybe to the pocket of individuals or not to full extent of all the citizens. The Niger Delta Forum has earnestly urged President Muhammadu Buhari to inaugurate the NDDC governing board in accordance with the law to guarantee equitable representation of the 9 constituent states, according to Chief Tonye Ogbobula, National President, Niger Delta Forum. Inaugurating the substantive board of NDDC will inevitably dose the increase but avoidable tension in the region, thereby ensure the stoppage of crude oil pipeline vandalization, which has suddenly reared up again in Niger Delta to the detriment of the nation. The group stated that it is truly saddened by the current report in the international and the national media of a renewed attack on the crude oil pipeline in Niger Delta, which have forced major international companies such as Shell Petroleum and Archie to declare force majeure as a result of their inability to meet their contractual daily crude oil production. So you know that the reason why there's this destruction of the pipeline is not just because the people wants to do so, but sometimes when they look at the amount of wealth coming out from their resources, the damage of their their river, where do fishing, then it end up become where these elders are saying, let's put together the this NDC governing body quickly, so that the 9 constituents will have to take back to their to those constituents, and there will be less vandalization of the pipeline as well. So again, let's come back to the business wise, and we continue to talk about more of those that are also demanding the self-determination out of Nigeria. According to 7 members of the CBN Monetary Policy Committee confirmed by the Senate, also Nigerian boss highlight value of corporate governance and capital, and likewise MTN Group reposition appointment new COO to drive 2025 strategy. So let me take us straight to the social media so we can manage everything together. Like I said, trending at number 1 with about 5,200 tweets. Ron Osibajo, Ron is the hashtag trending this morning. Atiku is trending at number 5, likewise as well. So let's see why Osibajo is hashtag Ron Osibajo Ron. So according to Adewumi Call, says someone called this man a mere commissioner some years back, but today the person is politically deranged, and the Starr boy is the next eye for the 2023 presidency. But some will argue that what has been, his job, as part of this government where there's killings and maiming and the inflation and the lack of, the issues affecting majority of the Nigerian students today, and those that have also graduated that are riding Okada all over the country, and those that are being killed. Like I'm going to be giving us a background of this young innocent Igbo girl that was killed by the DSS. That picture is just popping up behind you there, as you can see. Her name is Chineria. She was killed just as this young girl was killed in Lagos on the BRT, and just likewise, this other young girl that is coming up as well was killed in Lagos during the peaceful protest, that she was not involved as well. So you can see that more young Nigerians are being killed, but there's less being talked about by the vice president himself. So we're going to see how that is going to be managed by those that are asking him to run as he wants to run as well. So let's go and now look at some other conversation around Nigeria on social media this morning at exactly 11:32. Ifa Funshaw Graphic says, I am sick and tired of waking up every day, reading the news of Fulani militia killings, reading police brutality in the south of Nigeria, reading people fighting themselves over PDP and APC. I am sick and tired that people still believe Nigeria will get better by voting their candidate. Again, the governor of Anambra State says, I attended my first virtual meeting of the Nigerian Governors Forum today. It was an interesting moment to interact with my brother governors from other states. Again, remember that the previous governor is answering questions from the EFCC for looting an incompleted project and money missing and all sorts. So we saw the video where it was, you wonder that when they are in power, they believe they are mini God. Until they leave the power, we saw him, even though the video that was out there, the person in question that put out the video is now going through a disciplinary, from the EFCC, because that video was not meant to have come out at all. It was in his little shop, sitting down there, drinking bottled water, and you wonder that some 3 weeks ago, you will not even have access to somebody like that. So the current governor of Anambra says, there's only about 300 million left, but the video that they played, the audio I played earlier says, there's type 1 and type 2 of some of these governors that go in there spending billions but never return back to say it is not working. Again, Uzuma Chimeze was murdered by the Nigerian police at their police station in Ebonyi State. Another Biafran brother gone. Uzuma Chimeze was murdered by the Nigerian police in Abakaliki station for being a Biafran. Uzuma is from Ishehu in Ebonyi State. We are informing the world community ahead of time so they will know Nigeria is the aggressor. This is coming from Alcala Rock. Let's take more again from some of the other headlines as well. Nigeria and its ally plan was to wipe out Biafran people from 1966 to 1970, but by God's grace, it didn't happen. Today, Biafran people has risen up again. So you can see that there's still this, bitterness, of what took place during the Biafra War by most of the Biafrans are present today. Also, by Mazi Kanu says a British and a Biafran citizen was blindfolded, hand and leg, cuffed and rendered to Nigeria. What is difficult here? Tagging the SCD, which is the Foreign Affairs in UK, asking the Nigerian governor and the State House of Kenya how Mr. Kanu got to Nigeria without a valid passport. Remember, Kanu was kidnapped all the way back into Nigeria, but the Kenya government is still saying that, as far as they know, Nnamdi Kanu is still in their record that he hasn't left as well. Kalu Aja at Fin Plant Kalu Aja 1, largest cassava producer in the world. Gari is expensive. Largest exporter of crude oil, PMS, which is known as petrol, is expensive. Largest exporter of LNG in Africa, cooking gas is expensive. Largest rice mill in Africa, rice is expensive. Largest cement plant in Africa, cement is expensive. So you can see that this individual has said to us that we are the largest cassava producer, but Gari is expensive. A young girl, I talked about that in my program, a 12-year-old was defiled and pepper was used along that line as well, just because her auntie says she stole Gari and fish, a 12-year-old. The sister has been apprehended, and we hope justice will be done. And this still indicates that Nigeria, still being the capital poverty of the world, is having a big impact on most people back home, whether you are from the northeast, the southwest, or also from the middle belt, as well as everybody is facing the brunt of being a Nigerian. So let's now look at one more and come back again to you in the studio. Again, there's still a lot of question to some of the killings around most people in Nigeria as well. Let us also remember, every Nigerian is like Liu Shuaibu. If you are being held hostage, none of you is in control of your future. This was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in one of his conversations, but being put back again by at N Biafran Blood. 3 years and 5 weeks since our adoption in Dapchi, Yobe State, a United States-based group, U.S. Nigerian law group, has lamented the plight of abandoned Dapchi hero, Christian schoolgirl Liz Shuaibu, with a report that just came out. So it seems everybody has almost forgotten about her, but she's still in the minds of so many people as well. This person says, at Nigerian troops, for the love of the country, victory is assured. Support the Nigerian troops. I'm going to come back now again to you in the studio. It is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koike for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. But I wanted to just have a look at one of the stories that you picked up. That's the destruction of pipelines at the southeast. And now we've got Frank here as well. Let me say good morning to you, Frank.
Archie, good morning, and good morning to our listener. Olayomi, good morning to you. Good morning to Felix and all our listeners, especially those in Nigeria.
Now, interestingly, we were talking about this story that Olayomi just brought up pertaining to the destruction of pipelines.
Yeah.
Now, I was asking the question that we know that the companies that have the contract there are supposed to leave some money or for the environment. They need
corporate social responsibility.
Yeah. But does Nigeria has anything of the sort? And if they have, are they using it? Because if the people become so desperate and have to go to the extent of breaking these pipelines to siphon the fuel from it or the crude oil from it, then where are we going?
Actually, if it's still happening today, it means that we've not learned anything from the past. Most companies will have a component of a social responsibility budget. But the other question is even if that money is set aside and given to the authorities, who are those who take hold of that money and what do they do with it? Because I mean, just like aid money, that will be okay. We're giving this money to the blind. The money will go to some places and it doesn't get to the recipient.
The blind.
We know Saraki, is this Saraki? What's the name?
Saraki?
No, the one who was killed.
Yeah.
Against Sarawiwa.
Yeah.
We know some of these issues started or has real Ogoni lands issue so if today we're still having the same problem, then no one, either our leaders, community leaders, our chiefs are not doing enough, because the chiefs should now be demanding that the elders of those communities should now be demanding that corporate social responsibility budget is supposed to help the community. How much is it? Who's taking the money, and what are some of the projects? Again, the chiefs, are they also receiving some of those money and building big palaces, and marrying more women, or thinking that they are the overlords of those lands, and therefore when the money comes to them, they sit on it without ensuring that money is invested to generate jobs? Are you get me? And we might have to even rethink, can we have a system where we say, okay, if you're going to do this over here, then you must create this number of jobs. What are the priorities? Probably set up an agro-allied industry, or probably a company that can employ some people, but not just giving that money out to achieve that, to go and marry and buy a more SUVs and other things. So we need to do everything. But the bottom line is that actually we've not learned if it's still happening. But you see, actually, aside that money being given out, that alone cannot be the solution. The joblessness of the youth in that, for all you know, the people who are doing it might not even be coming from that community. Are you getting me? They might not be coming from that community. The joblessness of the situation of the country is what is actually pushing this. Some people commit crime not because they want to commit it, but because they are left with absolutely, you might think they have a choice, but to them they have no choice. It reminds me of a recording that I listened to and that recording was someone who was trying to siphon money or defraud someone mobile phone. This mobile phone, listen.
Yeah.
And the lady she sent it happens to be working with the company.
Oh gosh.
Right? An MTN in Ghana. Then the lady said, look, the lady confronted him and said, why are you people doing this? So, madam, it is not our intention, but we don't have what to eat.
Yeah.
If we don't do it, how do you expect us to survive?
Yeah.
And the guy said on tape, I am a graduate. I have graduated. I have no jobs. I need to feed my family. I need to feed. What do I do? Then the woman was like, you know, you should not be targeting the poor people. You should be targeting the minister. Okay, we don't have the minister's numbers.
Can you give us
the minister's number and we'll stop targeting. So you realize that this is a person who was frankly speaking
desperate.
Trying to defraud. I get so actually. I mean, our leaders, we need a rethink and we need to re-educate ourselves. Yeah.
Well, listeners, a bit there. I'll come to Yomi for his contribution on that. But Amaya says that the cabals are those sponsoring the vandalism. So those who know they are getting something out of that. I mean, will stop the people to go and then go and do that. Yeah. Interesting. Yes, Yomi.
Somebody says also, according to only the God of creation says. The British write and direct the script being played by the Fulani cabals by its High Commissioner. And likewise, it says, as you know, the British has been ruling the contraction ever since they acclaimed 1960 independence, which was just a flag of independence. Just as we can say that the visit of Kate, Duchess, and Prince William to Jamaica is creating a lot of controversy and conversation.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to the renditioning of Nnamdi Kanu, I mean, what has the British government actually said about it? Because I'm just looking at the case where just a week ago they were able to bring 2 people from Iran. I mean, you and how much government has paid 400 million. Now, if somebody is a citizen of this country and was renditioned in another country, taken to that place, what has the British government said so far, or the Foreign Office? Do you know?
Actually, the Foreign Office hasn't said anything to the best of my knowledge. But actually, all hands and fingers are not equal. Again, I go back to that lady's issue. You see, the government was interested in that, and now, I mean, arguably, people the campaign that was waged by the people.
Yeah.
And I still will take a lot of lessons from what Boris Johnson said, that she was there to train
journalists.
So, in my view, I mean, the government was committed. If it is a case that government was involved, which we know, there are a lot of saying these aid workers, charity workers are all trained spies to gather information. I mean, especially if they want to topple the government or cause civil unrest and that. That's what they do. I mean, last week on the flight back to the UK, it wasn't the lady alone that was on the flight.
Yeah, there was another man.
The man from his name is even
is it Keshan or
Lewisham right here.
Yeah,
we didn't hear about him.
Yeah,
the third one has been raised. We didn't hear about him, but this lady was always in the news, right? And like you say, Nnamdi Kanu is a British Nigerian.
Yeah,
just like that woman was a British Iranian.
Yeah.
So
I believe from what I know, Nnamdi Kanu has actually denounced his Nigeria passport. So it's not.
He might denounce it. Look, I mean, the lady who joined the terrorists, isn't? The wife of ISIS. ISIS wife.
Yeah. Begum.
All
Begum. Right. Yeah, I've forgotten her first name. Shamima Begum.
First, she was not a national of any country, but she was being forced to be a national of Bangladesh. That's because. So Nnamdi Kanu can denounce Nigerian,
but they can force you that you are
I mean, it has to be the interest the government or the system has. Archie, it has to be that if the system does not have interest in you, forget it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Interesting. But from the Kano camp, have they said anything that maybe the foreign office have gotten in touch with them or anything? Now that you are saying that he's denounced his Nigerian citizenship, so he's now solely a British citizen. Yeah. What have they said?
Well, the camp to Kano, always says that the British High Commission in Nigeria has not done much. Even during an interview with the High Commissioner in Nigeria, she literally tried to avoid that communication. I was even expecting that the visit of the Minister for Africa, Vicky Folsom, about a few weeks back to Nigeria, will also be part of the conversation. Maybe those conversations were behind closed doors, but as far as I can say, that the current situation is that Nnamdi Kanu legal team, are not really too happy that there's not much engagement from the British counterpart on this case.
Okay. Now, a quick one from Sunday. Do we have any updates? Is it still in Benin? What is it doing when it comes to? I mean, we know that the UN gives that cover for political.
Archie, the UN gives that cover. I keep on telling you, it has to be an interest. It has to be an interest. You see, you're gonna even understand what the UN body is there for and who are those who control it. Actually, there are strings behind the scenes that before decisions are taken, a lot of things have gone beyond the scenes. In Nnamdi Kanu, do they have interest in Nigeria? For all you know, he's been seen at his number. I mean, they don't know him as Nnamdi Kanu, they know him by his passport number. So for him, it's a digit. For them, it's a digit. Unless they have interest, then they can put a face to that digit and then begin to look at him as a human being. I tell you one thing. Just last week, Cambridge Uni issued a statement on some development in Ghana. Why? Because the guy is a student.
Oh yeah.
The guy is a student. As to the interest they have, we do not know. But it took a university to be interested in what the government is doing to someone they will call a foreign student in their. We do not know.
Yeah, it's true.
There are things that happen behind the scenes, actually. So when it comes to some of this politicking and other things, sometimes we tell people, we say, okay, look, it's a risk. You either have to go in knowing that no one will be behind you, and you are taking that risk as a freedom fighter to state your case, to make your case, and make sure that even if you die you will live on.
You died for a cause,
right? Or I mean, be ready to stay back or work your way. I mean, make sure you solidify some ground before you move. Knowing what I know about this Amazonian issue, actually things go behind the scenes.
Wow, Amaya says Frank is absolutely right. Now, Yomi.
Well, yesterday there was a media town hall meeting from the self-determination. Again projecting, the petition, the 5 million that has now been, a kind of a talk of the town, across the globe, so that 5 million can be get as quickly as possible, and that would then be part of a presentation, in the deal of this self-determination on the
5 million signatures. 5 million signatures you're talking about.
5 million signature petition. So it's not a referendum; it's just a petition. But you did ask, Chief Sunday Igboho, and he also sent his message to all his fans around the world on behalf of his spokesman yesterday. That was also delivered. Currently, yes, he's still in Benin Republic, but yes, he still have that protection from the government of Beninese while he's still there.
Okay. UN only protect their interests, Amayo says, and how true is that?
I mean, that's what they do. Actually, all these international bodies, World Trade Organization, IMF, World Bank, the International Finance Corporation, and all those, actually they are set up to pursue the interests of those who set up, those who set them up, and they make decisions. Today there was a news item somewhere, I think one of the Arsenal players is in the news to have questioned what the difference between Ukraine war, what is happening in Ukraine, and what is happening in Yemen.
Oh yeah.
Another person raised the question, what is the difference between Holocaust and slavery?
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Depending on who is being
more people suffered under slavery than this Holocaust.
Yeah.
So the question is, why are we so apprehensive when Holocaust is mentioned, but we normalize it when it comes to slavery? As we speak today, bombs are being dropped on Yemen. No one is talking about it. I'm not just trying the war in Ukraine, but you see, when those who establish those international bodies, when it favors them, the whole world must come along. And all they are waiting for now is for China to say we will not support Russia for Third World War to take place. And that's it. If China today says, okay, Russia at this time, there will be Third World War.
They will start bombing.
There will be Third World War within 72 hours.
Okay, Amaya says UN is controlled by US, UK, France, China, Russia, and Canada. They only protect their interests. How true is that? Okay, Yomi, before we go.
Well, now that you have Archie, Frank there, they will be taking you through, the last segment on this particular morning show. But I'll be back again at same time tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Let us, stay tuned for more news and updates around the globe. I say very good morning, and I'll be back again. Thank you very much to all our listeners from different parts of the globe, from Nigeria, from different part of the continent this morning. I'll be back again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 8 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to take a musical break. Get yourself a cold drink, whichever is appropriate. Now, we need ourselves some cold drink here because it's a bit warm here in this part of the world, but depending on where you are as well. And we will continue with the discussions. But Amaya says UN is turning blind eyes on the situation going on in Nigeria. But very soon, revolution will make them interfere. All right then, whatever it is, we'll be following it very, very closely. But enjoy the song from the one and only Raskimono. What does it say? Under Pressure.
Yeah, man. I often compare to sing to this rhythm after seeing all what's going in Africa, 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 Africa. Star. I'm a kimono, me just shout it to you. Chanta this, I want me not go shout it all day. Hey, under pressure we will, under pressure. Under pressure Europeans, under pressure. Under pressure Africans, under pressure. Under pressure Nigerians, under pressure.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's 12:01 the time, and it is the Thursday edition of the morning show. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davids, and I am Archie. And from now on, we're going to be looking at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, not only in Nigeria but across the globe for you. So we want you to be part of it. What you can do, if you want to join the conversation for free, just call us on 0208-133-2257 or 58, 0208-133-2257 or 58. Or if you want to, if you are in the US, Canada, the Caribbean area, South America area, it is 001-718-303-2737, 001-718-303-2737. Get in touch, and then you can text or WhatsApp as 075-3966-1744, 075-3966-1744. Get in touch, and we will look, or we will allow you to make your voice heard. We are also on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK, and our email address, if you want to drop a mail, is info@starradiouk.com. And it is Starr Radio UK. Don't you go away. As I said, the best way to listen to us is via our apps, because on the app we've got all the segments there. You can just go to the app, and then you can have the TV section, you have the podcast section, you have, name it, it's all there. And we've got all other radio stations operating on that one. We got Tiso Radio in Uganda. We got the Hosanna Radio there as well. So you go to your app store, just type in Starr Radio Global, Starr Radio Global, and just download it. It is for free. Okay then, now let's look at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. As I said, with me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis, I am Archie, and we will go on with the other stories. Now, interestingly, Frank, you know the what do you call NATO meeting once again, and monitoring what is going on in Russia, in Ukraine at the moment. I mean, the humanitarian cost of whatever is happening there makes me a bit worried about this whole situation. I mean, we can talk about who is right, who is wrong, and the benefits and all the other stuff. But my concern now is we are looking at a time where people are going to say, if I am, developing nuclear, and you tell me to stop, I will tell you, I will tell you, go to hell. Yeah. Because we know that with the stance of Russia, the fact that they have that, that has, pushed the West and other opposition. I've just pushed them back. If not, by this time, or what we saw in Libya or what we saw in Iraq would have taken place long time ago. Do you think that we're getting to a point? And Ghana being so stupid, our nuclear, we just gave it out free of charge. They just took it free. Whatever we are doing with it. We got into a place where there is a point of no return. Iran is going to go on. Every other country will want to enrich their nuclear.
I think just probably so they're gonna do it, because Libya had nuclear facilities. When they stopped, they convinced them to stop. That is when they had the opportunity to attack them. And again, like we're talking about this international agencies, International Atomic Energy Agency also work for the UN. That's what they do. So they come to say that, okay, they are coming to supervise you, or they're coming to check. They check to and the report will come out that, okay, your capability has been downgraded. That's where they can attack you. So, but, people can call me conspiracy theorist, but you see, when you sit down and observe the happenings, then you are forced to think differently and question certain things instead of following a church choir kind of the thing. And actually, if I were a leader today, what will I do? I'll develop the weapons. I will. Because if it is a deterrent, do not forget the UK itself spent billions, 30 billion to renew its nuclear warheads. Right? They have a submarine full of nuclear arsenals.
In the sea somewhere, underground somewhere,
which they are capable of firing to any part of the world at any point in time. If it is good for them, why wouldn't it be good for us? And that again should tell you, it's just like being in a house, and uncle is telling you, oh, you are 25 years old girl, but you cannot have a girlfriend. But uncle is having 10 girlfriends. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You are being bullied just because you are. He called himself an uncle, and you give him that.
That respect.
That respect.
You know, interestingly, it looked like when they were telling us, you look at, like you're talking about the uncle thing, where we're looking at Russia, who we thought that because there are some form of checks and balances. And so we think that, okay, it's only rogue nations where maybe there's one person spearheading everything that says this, like North Korea, and they are the ones who have to be controlled. But we see this, they have their own form of democracy, and that is what they are using. And still, we have the leader deciding this and this and this is what I'm going on. No, actually, we don't have the leader
deciding on that. Look, when we gone to COVID, in this country, Parliament passed a bill that actually gave certain powers to the Prime Minister. So, Prime Minister had the power to call on the place to restrict your movement as and when he feels such actions were needed. The same thing we should not forget, that the people who voted for the Russian Parliament authorized a war. They went to Parliament and authorized it. So they've given him some emergency powers as their leader. And we cannot take that away from him just because he's not a Western governor, or because he does not basically hail from Britain, hail from US, hail from France. Actually, this whole notion of the democracy that is being practiced by the West must be seen as the finest of the finest. I don't buy into that notion
at all.
It is a good PR machine that what is happening in Ukraine, I'm not supporting it, but do not forget that we are also caught in a very sophisticated information brainwashing war that Zelensky is waging on the world. On the world. Today he was calling everybody in the world to demonstrate against what? Against the invasion. And then we will question again, what is the difference between what is happening in Ukraine and what is happening in Yemen? We've seen refugees. We've seen children being killed. Why is the West so much interested in Ukraine? No war is justified. But we see, we need to get to a point where if Britain is telling us that the war in Ukraine is not right, that they have invaded, Russia has invaded, Yemen people didn't go to Saudi Arabia. It was the Saudis that saw Yemen as a threat to their peace and security and started bombarding and bombing with an endorsement from the US and its allies.
Now, if somebody say, looking at the background of the Yemen and the Saudi problem, they will say that, well, they have evidence, but maybe they were sending terrorists into the Saudi, and then they were causing lots of troubles there, and then that's why they have to protect themselves is to attack. So that's what they are embarking on. Somebody say, well, when it comes to Ukraine, Ukraine did not actually attack Russia, did they?
The murder and the genocide that was going around the eastern border of Ukraine.
Donetsk and the other.
What was it about? When a whole parliament went against the United Nations own convention, which again enjoins each and everyone to protect individuals' culture and respect people's culture and people's identity and ethnicity. when the whole Ukrainian parliament banned the use of and the speaking of Russian language. What was that about?
But again, you know, when it comes to that Russian language thing that the Russians are using, now this is our country. We decide that this is going to be the language that we're going to. So your language is not going to be.
Are you telling me that the Russians that were part of Ukraine are not part of Ukraine? That is their country. So why are you stopping them for not using their language? If we can have it in Quebec, where we have
the French, and then the English,
why couldn't it have worked for Ukraine? You see, Archie, I think we need to go behind the headlines. What is going is an opportunity for the West now to seize on it to try and collapse Russia for good. But actually, we are in for a long haul. This war, we are in it for a long haul. Maybe that's what I say. What will come out from NATO today is to put them on alert to attack Russia.
Yeah, if they
forget about that if, because it can be staged. It can be staged. It can be staged. If a bomb or there's a what do you call it, someone get killed in Poland today, how are you going to know that that bullet was coming from a Russian soldier or it's coming from a Ukrainian soldier?
But the Russian foreign, is it not the foreign minister, but I think the ambassador to the, not the UN, they interviewed one of the Russian foreign ambassadors or something, and then he was making this morning. Those of you who started the broadcast, who started watching the broadcast with us, was having an interview with Sky, and then they were showing him a picture of a residential area that was being bombarded. And they say that this is Russia's bombs that is hitting these buildings. And he says that, no, that is not our bombs. But you know that all these weapons have got numbers and listens on it. So I was thinking that now they have to get to a point where when things like that happen, they go to verify.
Who goes to verify? Who should go and verify?
The journalists who go to verify.
Which journalists? The journalists that have been trained to speak a language. Actually, the journalists, how many people who disagree with what is going on, or those who might seem to be telling people the historical and certain things that are happening? When was the last time you saw them on BBC? When was the last time you saw them on BBC? At least UK should have allowed RT to be working for us to have a second opinion. Why did they stop it?
Because RT also stopped. Russia also stopped.
They stopped it first. George Galloway and others, why are they not talking?
Yeah, they silenced them.
Why? I'm not saying what is going on is right, but actually, I think we are all being boxed to be hypocrites, and that for me is very, very difficult to stomach.
Okay,
we are being told that, look, at this point in time, take your brains out, and we implant in you what we want you to say. And knowing the people we are dealing with, knowing what is said about what they call it, Gaddafi, knowing what is said about
Saddam Hussein.
Actually, but before we proceed, let's may her soul rest in peace, Madame Albright.
Madeleine Albright.
Madeleine Albright.
Yeah.
Actually, do not we shouldn't forget that she was one of the key figures that pushed for the expansion of NATO. At the time Russia, Soviet Union collapsed, early 1990s, Clinton as a president, and she was the Secretary of State. She pushed aggressively for the expansion, the whole notion of expansion of NATO and other. She championed it. Are you getting me? And then one will ask the question, why are we so much interested in expansion of that if we think that NATO has no ulterior motive, or NATO, which has now made itself, metamorphosed itself into a standing army for UN, when the charter that established UN says clearly it must not have a standing army.
Okay, well, do they need a standing army or not? The war in Ukraine, how do you see it all? Do you think they go to a point where every country has to get their own nuclear weapon? Everybody has to develop that if you want to stand and be counted as well. Well, let's go to South London, where we have got Kojo D, who has joined in. Kojo, good afternoon to you.
Hi, good afternoon, Archie. Yeah.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm alright. I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I think Frank is too energized.
Maybe he's had a bit of coffee. Who knows?
Don't forget, it might surprise you that probably I've got some oil pipes from Russia that are coming straight to my bedroom.
My case simply is, look, if we really want to know the extent of the truth of the issue, you just talk to anybody who had a chance of living in Russia, who had a chance of living in the USSR and see their point of view. I mean, it's easy to say that take a stand and say we are not being given the full truth, but to tell you the truth, if you went to the USSR as a student, right? If you come to the UK as a student, you can carry your passport, your own passport on you, and go everywhere. But in the days of the USSR, if you go as a student, your passport is immediately taken off from you, and you are given a paper, a card, sort of a paper card
ID card,
carry
sort
on
of.
you.
Okay.
You're not even allowed to travel from one city to another city. So I will lay it there. The masters of the game of deception could be both West and East, but the East have played it more than the West. So anybody who are live in USSR, you talk to them and they will tell you exactly. Anybody who are live in Russia, in the Russian Federation currently, will tell you there is no other form of news. It predates the banning of RT in EU, in the EU. In any case, when the RT was banned in EU, UK couldn't broadcast it anyway. So whether Ofcom stopped it or not, they couldn't broadcast it because the broadcast panels and all that were in the EU, and when the EU stopped it, it was
immediately. I couldn't get it. But I like to hear what they were also saying. Yeah.
It couldn't actually come to the UK because EU blocked it. So whether Ofcom ban it or not, it wasn't still being broadcast in the UK. So I think we could be passionate to see both sides of the story, but I mean, if you were in the position of Zelensky, you will appeal to every single person on earth to come to your plight when you are the one who is being battered. So, and I think every nation has a right to do that, and the leader of every nation has a right to appeal, especially when you become the weaker person of the two. I mean, all that we are seeing currently on our screen, there hadn't been a bomb that has been dropped in Russia or Moscow or any of their cities. But Ukraine is being bombarded from east, west, south, and north. So you can understand why he should speak to everybody else. He should speak to NATO. He should speak to all the world to try to help them out with the situation they find themselves in. I mean, if it were in Ghana, don't we think that Akufo-Addo would be doing the same thing? If Nigeria was bombarding Ghana, and we didn't have the chance to try to curtail that bombardment, we'll also be doing that. So on that front, I don't fault him in any way, and I won't say what he's doing is wrong. I would say he is thinking about his own people, how the people will survive, how people will survive in the land. If you look at how people have been eating for days, people have been bathed for days, they're just hiding in basement. I mean, I think he needs to speak and see whether something can be done while peace talks is also going on. Again, if you're still doing peace talks, one person is holding the upper hand, even in that peace talk. In any way, Russia holds the upper hand. I mean, so that said, I think it's a proxy war, as we established the other day, a proxy war between East and West. So, how it will be solved? Well, none of us had any solution to it, apart from the two conflicting interests decide to yield, and the West decide to see a reason. The East also decide to see something, which is Russia, mainly at the moment, decide to ease off. But apart from that, what else can anyone do? I mean, I know we talk about atomic nuclear energy.
Yeah.
So there are two forms of nuclear energy. So one is nuclear power and one is nuclear energy. So nuclear energy is normally harnessed for the use of for electricity purposes. I don't think where Russia or Western countries or any of that are against it. Any country can actually harness its nuclear energy capability to produce energy, electricity to its citizens. But I think where the issue crosses the line is when it becomes you are producing nuclear power in a form of a bomb. So I think we need to differentiate between those two. So one becomes a weapon as opposed to becoming an energy. So the Atomic Energy Center in Ghana was mainly researching into what EDF is doing in the UK, producing nuclear energy. And the world isn't against that. So the nuclear powers are not against
that.
You producing that.
Okay.
No, they are not.
So why did they make Ghana give out or give its up?
Well, some countries have to give up, but when the countries now go one step further to try to develop weapons out of what they were researching into. So I think that is where the problem comes in. So if you look at Iran's situation, it's a similar situation. Iran was enriching itself to produce weapons as a result. So that became the discussion being held. But at the moment, you go to Ukraine, they have all the nuclear plants that produce just electricity.
Yeah.
And what was taken out of Ukraine by agreement between these same powers, these four powers, which included Russia anyway, was the weapons that were taken out of their hands. So they don't have capability at the moment to produce weapons, but they have the capability to produce energy.
Okay.
So they probably have about 6 plants of energy. So you can understand. There is a thin line between the two anyway. So that is what we have to bear in mind.
Yeah.
So once you have the capability to produce the power, you will be able to produce the weapon.
From there.
With further development, you will be able to. So I think that is where the nuclear powers as they stand now, the countries that have nuclear bombs, if I say correctly that way, they have nuclear bombs, will try to make sure that people who have nuclear reactors to produce energy will not go a step further to produce bombs.
Well, if I allow you into my lab, then you know what I'm doing. I won't allow you. Exactly. If we've got expertise, we just get on with it.
That's what Iran is fighting against. They're not allowing people to their lab. So if you realize what Russia tried to do at the beginning of the war, they went to Chernobyl, which is in Ukraine, and tried to surround it, because if they are producing power, now their scientists, which has also, look, some of the scientists were also part of the development of the nuclear bomb for Russia. So they have the technology. So they can now say, look, if we push to the corner, we can
also develop that and use
it. Exactly. So that is why Russia quickly tried to seize those power stations and surround it, but at the same time allow energy to be produced that in they getting into the place, they are ensuring that the only thing that will be done in those facilities is producing energy for electricity.
Okay. Listen, this is Starr Radio UK, Kojo D in South London. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis. I'm Archie, and we are bringing you some of the stories that is making the rounds. But, well, North Korea has tested a banned intercontinental missile. It's the first time such a missile, which puts the U.S. within reach, has been tested since 2017. And that's why I'm talking about proliferation of weapons, because everybody think that if just in case, you don't know who tomorrow will wake up and think, I've gone bonkers and I'm going to attack you. So
I think, Archie, for me, it's nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. My worry and the question that I keep on asking about, why must it be good for A and it's not good for B?
What is good for the goose is good for the gander.
Why don't we all say, okay, you know what? Disarmament.
Yeah.
Corbyn was campaigning for that.
Yeah.
Let's all agree that we are disarming.
Yeah.
But you cannot tell me that you got so much weapons, you got those sophisticated weapons that you use on my neck every day, threatening me, that I always live under duress. That if I don't comply, you will come in. If I don't comply, and if I want to develop it, you say no. Unless we are telling, unless the word sovereignty has different meanings, that okay, US is a sovereign country, UK is a sovereign country, and country like Iran, country like what do you call it, North Korea, Ghana and other things, Nigeria are sub-sovereign country. What someone will argue that yes, probably we are so sovereign because we still depend on them. I don't remember the last time UK went to Ghana to say, or went to IMF to say, okay, let's borrow, lend us money. But we always, the other time, West Africa ECOWAS leaders had a meeting looking for 100 million, 100 billion reconstruction this thing for COVID. Everybody hiding under COVID and other things. So probably we might have to look at whether are we sovereign indeed, or we are just subsets of the sovereign states, or probably. Because that is where, but if we are sovereign indeed, the same argument that is being raised, that Ukraine is a sovereign country, and therefore it has to, on its own, voluntarily decide which organizations they want to belong to. That if they really want to join the NATO, it is none of Russia's business. I think we should accord the other country the same respect. That look, if they decide to develop A, B, C, D weapons, provided they've not crossed into our borders, we should leave them. You decide to cook peanut soup in Ukraine, and they decide to cook pakoshito in North Korea.
What's your beef? Well, in animal kingdom, some animals are more equal than others. It is Starr Radio UK. But breaking news coming through before I put Mr. Kofi Ali on. P&O Ferries boss has admitted to MPs that the decision to sack 800 workers without consulting unions broke the law. But we don't know. I'm not sure that they will reinstate them. That they say they cannot do because they think they will go bust. But we'll see. Maybe there'll be a better compensation scheme for them.
Let's hope so.
Well, okay, let's go quickly to Kofi before we go to Ghana as well. Kofi, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, how are you?
Yes, not bad. Quickly, let me touch on the issue of sovereignty and Ukraine that my brother Frank, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, brother.
Yeah, he touched on it briefly. Actually, you'll be shocked to know it's a book I'm writing, honestly. It's paining and challenging that I have not published this book till now. And the title of this book is The Secret of Sovereignties. And this problem has been there for a very long time, but we don't seem to be noticing. You see, what the question sovereignty, what does it even mean? Actually, the word sovereignty comes from the word sovereign. Sovereign means supreme, absolute, highest. Can you see? And during the time of Brexit, this word kept on coming up, especially at the EU Parliament, by some people saying that they want Britain, they want what? they want to claim their sovereignty back. Then you start asking yourself, why is Britain claiming and fighting led by Farage and his colleagues that they want to get their sovereignty from the European Union back? Meanwhile, when you say sovereign, you are actually, it goes around the Queen. Then there's a problem. The Queen is sitting here. So they are talking about sovereignty, and people are in Brussels fighting, they want their sovereignty. So some of us decided to probe that way. For 6 years, I couldn't just get the definition of the word sovereignty. But when you go looking for the word sovereign, you get it. Supreme, highest what? So that word sovereign is an adjective describing what? Something. Can you see? A noun or just something. Oh, beautiful what? Beautiful child or young boy. Or you understand? It's the same thing with that word sovereign. So sovereign what? Then after a lot of research, the word led us to what? That ty, which sovereign makes sovereignty different from sovereign, right? So sovereign and sovereignty are not the same. Then we discovered that word ty at the end is actually a short form of authority. So it's about sovereign authority. So there are authorities that are sovereign and authorities that are not sovereign. Does it now make sense? Mm-hmm. The authority that is sovereign is different from the authority that is not sovereign. So we were then pushed into finding out what is the meaning of the word authority. Because if you don't know the meaning of the word authority, you cannot be able to know the type of authorities for which some are sovereign and some are not. Can you see? Technically, that then led us to another word. What is authority? In searching for authority, I don't want to take too much of your time here on this platform. But let me go to the highest level. Apart from talking about family authority, community authority, national authority, and therefore what? A nation. So national authority. Can you see? At the level of national authority, we realize that there are authorities, different authorities of a nation at the national level. For example, if you are a colony, the authority of the group that constitutes the colony, you understand, become a colony, a colonial authority of the authority that is colonizing that authority. Doesn't that make sense? So Ghana as a colony, we were a colony. So at that time, the management of Ghana is being done within Ghana. So there is an authority there. However, that authority, you understand, is a subject to the colonizer's authority. So the nationals would be what? The nationals of a colony, or you can be a nationals of a colonizing authority. Then that takes us to, okay, when we had independence, what did we get? Can you say? Remember, when we're a colony, we don't have any say on how laws are made for us. The colonizer made that law. We just take law, so we are subjects. Then we became independent in 1957. Our independence means we are now going to have a say in how our laws are made, our institutions are designed, and so on and so forth. Can you see? However, what we have is what? Independence is not sovereignty. Independence is a precondition to becoming sovereign, and they all look alike. In the United Nations, you have 193 different independent nations. Some you know, some you may not know. However, there are only 5 sovereign nations. Of the 5 sovereign nations, 4 of them are very, very clear. Only one is a bit tipsy, which is France and European Union. All the other 4, they may be running on different models, you understand. But there's one common thing about them. The head of state is still the commander-in-chief, you understand. Of the 3, that is Russia, China, and United States of America. The head of state is also the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. It's also the head of government. But in the United Kingdom model, which is a very interesting model, the head of state, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, is actually not the head of government. In that model, they gave away the management of the government affair to the prime ministers, while the Queen is the head of state and commander-in-chief of all those who constitute that one cluster of a union.
Okay, so Kofi, yeah. Now let's come to the Ukraine, because you are trying to link it up with Ukraine. Is Ukraine sovereign or not? And if not, why not?
Ukraine is independent. Ukraine is not sovereign. And Putin himself said it. Not because Putin said it, it only confirmed what I am writing in my book. We are mistaken. You see, I said independent is a precondition to becoming sovereign. And most of what the sovereign ones have got, the independent one have got it too. But the sovereign one are politically independent, economically totally independent, and technologically independent. And if you look at them, they do what they like. Look at the why is Russia attacking Ukraine? Can you tell me what? They are both technologically advanced. Are you aware of that? In fact, Ukrainians built the nuclear facilities, the nuclear bomb that Pakistan is using, while Russia built the one in India. But when you look at it carefully, one is attacking the other. And the other that is being attacked is calling for the rest of the world to come and help her. Can you see? So technically that tells you that the sovereign ones are too powerful. That is why they are given permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. All of them, except France. And the reason why United Nations is not sovereign is because sovereignty cannot be under another sovereignty. Does it not make sense to you? That is what brings France into a big question mark. Because France is now taking instruction from the European Union. Can you see? America doesn't take instruction from anyone. China doesn't take instruction. Russia doesn't take instruction. So right now, it is being proven that Ukraine and confirming. In fact, it's a different book I'm going to write, because I was writing on something else explaining the details of this thing. Why this Ukrainian war came up. Ukraine now has even considered she's not going to join the NATO. Do you remember? Mm-hmm. She's not going to be in the European. It is when you are sovereign. That is why Putin is saying that I'll use my last power if my authority is challenged. For a sovereign authority, everybody backs off. Does it now make sense?
Okay. Now let me go to Frank. Now he's trying to show us what sovereignty is. So do you think any country apart from the 5 that is talked about is sovereign?
Right. That is, you see, the whole word about nationhood is what Kofi is raising over here. As to whether because you are independent that gives you the power to do certain things. It's just like, okay, we all leave our grandfather's house. Because you have gone to marry and you have your own house, that gives you authority to decide what you do in your own house at a point in time. Or sometimes your grandfather can still come and tell you that you can do this. Now. You have to sleep now. That's the whole question we are asking. And that is where a lot of confusion is. Because our understanding, or a lot of people understand that because you have your own passport, you have your own president. Some of them are working for the West anyway. Because of that, you can decide what you want to do and do it as and when you want. And that is where Russia say, no, although Ukraine might have an independent, or call it a sovereign state, they cannot do whatever they want because some of their actions will have security implications for us. The West, that also has countries that Kofi named that are sovereign now. Say, okay, we used to know that only 5 of us have that power, or 6 of us have that power. But because we want to come against you, we are viewing this country, Ukraine, as having an equal right and equal power like you, the Russians.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what you're looking at. So you look at the hypocrisy within the world system. Actually, the world order is going to be reset. If it's not reset, we're always going to be having problems. Are we going to get to a point where we say, okay, all these members of the UN, class 1, class 2, class 3, you must obey the commands of those in class 3 school prefects. Is that what we
Who
want?
made them school prefect?
That's the question. Who made them school prefect? Because they establish organizations that control the world, the way the world is run. This world order is structured in a way that works for them, and you bought into it. When they talk of UN General Assembly, who are those control? They are shareholders.
Yeah.
UN is a company, they are shareholders in that UN. But we see people all marching. Under normal circumstances, what we are told, even in face or in terms of war, US shouldn't have the right to be sanctioning or dismissing an ambassador from another country that is attached to the UN, representing their country. But what do we see? They are dismissing and calling people who are actually representing their nation and the UN persona non grata. Not the embassy.
Yeah, not the embassy, from the UN.
So it then brings who is the UN for and who is controlling the
UN? Interesting. Sovereignty. Okay, let's go to Kojo. Kojo. Hello, Kojo.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm on. Yeah. Well, I think all the definitions are great. Everything that has been said is great. But as we've already established in the discourse, the more powerful nations are sovereign nations. The more powerful nations had exert their influence over the less powerful nations. So if we're thinking of countries like India and Pakistan also arming themselves nuclear, I'm not sure they're going to get to the level where if Russia decides to back down on Pakistan, what will Pakistan do at this point in time? Probably nothing. So that is the situation. Russia descends on, don't let's forget, when Western countries, both Western countries and Russia are both in Syria, crashing ISIS. But Western countries will say, hey, Jack, you're using bombs that are not prescribed. And they said, who are you to tell us that? You were also there previously before us.
Yeah.
So it's a similar situation. If you go back history in Afghanistan, the first people who went there to try to stabilize Afghanistan were Russians.
Yeah, were the Russians.
And when the going got tough, they decided to walk out. And the same thing has happened to Western countries. So I'm not sure how the world order is going to change as far as this kind of matrix still exists. If you look at the size of China, China is no much bigger than India. But China finds itself as a sovereign nation because, well, it was powerful at the beginning of the 19th century. It's not only the population. If you're talking about the size of land, China hasn't got that huge size of land compared to the Russian Federation. It's probably about the same size, maybe like Brazil. But yeah, if you're talking about the United Kingdom, it's even a tiny wee among all of them. But they've occupied a strategic position, and I don't see how that dynamic is going to change as long as the current world order exists.
So I was going to ask the next question. I mean, this new world order that we are talking about, there's going to be a reset. How do you perceive it to be?
Actually, the new world order, in my view, has to be reset in such a way that people feel that they are truly independent, they can take decisions, but it is not going to happen easily. There has to be something that is drastic, dramatic. Could be a world war, for it to be restructured. And again, the less developed countries, because when they go to UN, for instance, they're going to vote to take decision. They tell you these countries have lined up like chicken to support this cause.
Yeah.
They've lined up. Some of them, if you don't know what it's being said over there, and the implications of it. We also have to strive to be independent. We also have to strive to be able to. And look, you look at what is happening. For instance, assuming it were Nigeria, where your food and everything is controlled by them.
Mm-hmm.
They can just, pull a plug.
You will be
So
hungry
the
till
first
you
thing we
die.
need to do is let's individually at our own homes try to be independent so that we don't go back to someone's kitchen to go and eat. When we start doing that, we'll begin to change the narrative where someone, that's why yesterday I was happy when the Jamaican president was up front and allied the Barbadians. They've taken the lead. They've shown that woman appraised her, one of the most brilliant women. You know, she was the one who delivered that brilliant speech at what they call it, COP. What they call it?
Oh yeah.
She was. She was
2020, 21 thing that they.
Are you getting me?
22,
So we need to get to a point where we begin to understand that yes, calling yourself republic means that your agriculture is independent. You're not waiting for aid.
Not dependent on other.
You don't go with caps in the hands to go and beg for aid, get for arm. You do not go arms in the air. We only need your money to be no. And again, that will be financial system. And see what Russians have done.
They say now you want to buy our gas and
you know what? And you know what that means? You're going to pay in ruby. You are either using their own clearing system. Or you're going to use SIP, which China has developed. Ghana, the water the president drinks is bought in dollars. Meanwhile, you call yourself president of a sovereign country.
Well, you don't produce water, so what do you talk about? Well, let's start ready. Okay, let's go to Kofi quickly. Kofi, about the new world order. What do you think about it?
It's part of the project I work on when I was writing that book. Yeah. It's sad this book is still not yet published. But I'll finish it, whatever. I'll finish it. I'll just complete what I'm doing and get it out there. Now, let me make something very clear. Someone say Jamaica should be independent. Jamaica is already read there. Go and read history.
No, we said republic, not independent.
Republic.
Jamaica is independent. Canada is independent. Ghana is independent. Togo is independent. The difference is that, right? The head of state, head of government, and head of the commander-in-chief of Ghana is the president of Ghana. In the case of Canada and Jamaica, the head of state and the head of commander-in-chief is the same queen here. What they have in Jamaica is the prime minister of Jamaica is the head of the government there, like you have here. So all the laws they make in Jamaica, the queen must sign it. But see, what has Ghana gained that Jamaica has not gained as an independent nation? So we should stop looking at this independence as if it's an end on its own. Nkrumah said, it's just a means to an end and we should focus on what we want to do. How do nations become sovereign? All the nations that you see that are sovereign, they are clusters of independent nations that come up together like EU is currently doing with a common person that will emerge as the head of state, commander-in-chief, possibly head of government. That is war. That is all. So this is where we are struggling on the African continent. We are the problem of we are the cause of our own problem. This is why Nkrumah was saying at independence that he will not use the model that was given to him, where the queen will continue, he will be a prime minister, and the queen will continue to be the one to sign any law in Ghana before we implement that law. That is what Nkrumah's problem was. And that was why he declared Ghana a republic. Can you see the connection? So, let us back off and use this opportunity. This opportunity is very simple. I said there are only 5. They are all cluster of independence. You see, United States of America, when you are outside, you see one country because it's one color. When you go inside, they are different. The only thing they have in common is the Washington Authority. When you go to Russia, this Ukraine and Georgia and Azerbaijan, they were inside the Soviet Union as one, and the color on the map is one, and at United Nations they are one. You understand? But when the Soviet Union broke up, remember, inside the Union, it is these Russians who were the dominant force. So when it broke up, they still maintained the biggest land. Most of the land inside Russia, they call themselves republics. Go and check. Chechnya is a republic. This one is a republic. You understand? And therefore, we should understand that you can be a republic under a sovereign authority. And the European Union have proven it. Because they are, the only problem with the EU now, that they are not going to be solved. Even China, I've forgotten China. China, they are not one as you see them. When you are outside, you think it's one. In China, you need kind of permit, a document to go from one region to the other. Yes, they are different. You can be deported from one to another. However, it's like the whole of West Africa. However, the commander-in-chief is Xi. That is the president, Xi Jinping. So what we are saying here is the United Kingdom one is a confusing one because they are scattered. You can't see them in one place. And when we say United Kingdom, there is contention between the meaning of the word United Kingdom and Great Britain. Britain, it's confusing. It's Britain who joined the European Union. They joined when it was EEC. No one is becoming a sovereign body. If they stay there, then the authority of the Queen will be challenged now that the EU is making law that prevail above any other law within the European Union. And therefore, the earlier they leave, the better. Let us understand this. It's not very difficult. It's very simple. We have seen a model that will work for us. The EU model is a working model. They will soon be recognized and France will no more be a member of the United Nations Security Council. What the European Union are feeling, right now as I'm talking to you, now they are going for a common military. So all European Union will have a military, one. At this point, before now, they have so many scattered military. Now it's going to move, the commander-in-chief will move. And this was one of the reasons why Britain have to leave, because the Queen is the commander-in-chief of their own model. Can you see? All these things, let us learn from situations so that we can take advantage to better ourselves, not to go back to where we were. This Ukrainian thing is a practical example of the fate of independent nation. And when you are independent, you have something I call the glass ceiling. There's a glass ceiling on top of you, like a bed. Wherever you turn around, there you are limited. You are brought back to where you are. Why? Because there's a ceiling on you. But when you are a colony, you don't need any ceiling. You are inside. The only thing you do is to serve your master. There is this two difference. You understand? So we are independent. We in Jamaica has got embassy all over the world. I don't know whether you are aware. There is nothing in the world Ghana has got that Jamaica doesn't have. You have military, they have military. You have everything, they have everything. The difference is that when Jamaica has a problem, you understand, the Queen would deploy her forces from here to go and protect them because she is still the Queen's protectorate. They are within that frame. We say we don't want it. We are still in the Commonwealth, but the Queen is not our head of state. Can you see another difference? The beautiful thing about the British one is that it's very difficult to understand that the thing that gives them that stability, which is the office of the Queen, you understand? That is where all the judges, all the military rulers, all of them, the generals, she employed the office, they're answerable to her. They are not answerable to the Prime Minister. It gives the system a kind of conservative, stability. So you cannot be able to say, oh, the Queen is a dictator. Why? Because there was nobody voting in that election. You only vote for your Prime Minister, and every 4 or 5 years, the Prime Minister is gone. So the Prime Minister goes to he goes to everyone in the world to represent. But when he comes back, he reports to her quickly. All of them report to her. That's why when you go to Westminster area, the Queen's of, you see so many buildings there. They are all buildings dealing with different parts of the world, of the kingdom. You can't say Canada is still the colony of Britain. So if Canada is not a colony of Britain, then what is Canada to the Queen? In the past, Canada, is a colony. Australia is a colony, the colony of the Queen. That's why the Jamaicans are saying that they know who was the master. And you see, everything, the slavery, everything was through that office. They sanctioned it. However, you understand, things have moved on. And we are saying now that everybody has been given their independence, and you are still under the Queen. It means the Queen that was head of state in the past when there was British Empire, she's still the head of state in the United Kingdom. So now there's no more British Empire. and the Commonwealth, Ghana, Nigeria, the Queen is not our head of state. Then tell me, what is the relationship between the Queen and Canada and Australia and New Zealand? I want an answer from you, because she's the head of state. So the kingdom has changed. The definition of the kingdom. So the United Kingdom is beyond this island. It's all the nations under the Queen. They are united under one Queen. You understand? In America, China, so we are the first to start shouting dictator, dictator, because the head of their government, we expect him to be elected, and we disagree. He has stayed very long. Putin was there for 20 years, isn't it? The Queen is there for about 70 years. 70 years
So
is a lot of things.
we need to vote her out.
No. It is their model. Please, I'm not
No. We know that. I'm just saying that.
And the system is working.
Mm-hmm.
The Russians have got their own model. You understand? Now, you see, when you are sovereign, you also need what we call allies. That is where the secret is.
Okay, so hold on there. That's a question where I wanted to. My final question, then we can run up. But I'm looking at it that, look, if Ukraine had was sovereign, where they have everything to protect themselves, to defend themselves, they would have stood against Russia.
And they are standing anyway.
Yeah, they are, but they'll be begging. Can you give us this thing? Can you give us this thing? And because they are not coming
on weapon, and they are trying to others.
But that's why I want to find out that. Do you think it is sensible for countries to say that, oh, we want to belong to a union, oh, we have the UN, oh, we have this, so that in case there is something like that, they'll come and help us? Where if you are standing by yourself, you can just decide, this is what I want to do, I get on with it, I defend myself, I defend my people. When somebody want to help you, they can come later.
You see, the old world order before the new world order come into existence, we need to see the distinction between the two of them. In the old order, there were so many colonies. So many colonies. In the new world order, you understand, there are fewer colonies if they still exist, and most of them are inside the sovereign one, or maybe Biafra and so and so. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Or Oduduwa can call themselves a colony of, but we know that they are the Oduduwa, the Yorubas, and they all go to the same parliament to vote. In a colony, you don't vote. Can you see? However, look at something. In the old order, might is right. That is the subtitle of my book. Might was right. As soon as you see a group of people, you go to one small part of their community and tell them that we and you want to be friends, sign it. As soon as they sign it, now you say we are allies. Because we are allies, we want to go and defend the people we share a common value with. Can you see? And that exactly is what is still there, we and our allies. Because remember, sovereignty starts from being allies until you have a common head of state. You can also be sovereign, you understand, as a group of people following one model, one law, one everything, but your allies have to adopt that model. Can you see? Look at South Korea. They've adopted the American model. They are allies. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah. Could we run up quickly? I need to go to the others so that we can run up the program.
The confusion is that the Europeans and the Americans have gang up together now as allies, and because United Nations is only like a neutral ground where people can sit down and talk, not fight. You understand? United Nations doesn't have army. United Nations has nothing. She doesn't even have money. She doesn't have factory. She doesn't have jobs. She has nothing. And because of that, you understand, the allies game is still being played. So me and my friend are going to defend our common interest. Oh, we own Coca-Cola. Somebody is abusing the use of Coca-Cola. We are going to defend it. Oh, we own democracy. These people in Ukraine, they love our democracy. They love our value. We and them are the same. Therefore, we are going to help them to fight for freedom. Freedom was to be part of us.
Okay.
And the Russians are saying that freedom is illegal because when we Ghana, we left the British what do you call it, empire, and we say we don't want to be part of the United Kingdom again, and we are going to build our industries. And the Russians say they are ready to help us and pay us more for our cocoa. We are even going to get a factory, chocolate making factory. They'll build one for us. The British said if we declare that, and that's what we are going, they declare war. They declare war. We all heard it when what's the name of that country? Taiwan say they are going to now have Americans to come on their land and be trading them, and they are going to declare independence. China say when you declare anything that we disagree, we will declare war. They said it. So what the Russians are doing today, you understand? Telling the Ukrainians that you have crossed the line. We are sovereign. We have the power. Might is right. We'll tell you who we are. They will do it. Nobody can stop them.
Okay.
When China wanted to take Hong Kong, who wanted to stop them? Did you go?
We were trying, but we couldn't. Thank you very much, Kofi.
There was a problem between Falkland and Argentina.
Yeah.
And the contention is Britain and Argentina over that land, Falkland.
Yeah.
Who took the land? The mighty one took the land. Falkland is very close to Argentina.
Yeah.
Very, very close to Argentina. Look at where Britain is. Britain took the land. They took the land, right? Because might is right.
Okay.
Why is it today might is becoming illegal? Because it's down to one country inside Europe. So everybody are Europe. When they were doing it in Syria, where were we? When they were doing it in Libya, where were you? When they were doing it in Iraq, America went to Iraq. UN didn't sanction it. They didn't do anything. They are the only people who discovered the weapon of mass destruction. They know where the weapon of mass destruction. They know when it's going to be launched. They know how many minutes to destroy the whole of the world. And they went. After some time, they say, "Well, forget it. It's a hoax." But they've killed people. So let us stop all this hanky-panky politics.
Okay.
Let's go to the reality of politics, especially when we are the victim of this nonsense.
Okay.
We are the victim.
Kofi, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Let me go to Kojo. Kojo, do you think that we need I mean, any country needs to, I mean, like I was saying, if Ukraine had armed themselves properly, they wouldn't have been begging. Like, the destruction that is taking place would not have gone to that extent. Yes, they could have been, but there could have been reprisal attacks as well. So, but we don't see that. So, is there an essence in, I mean, linking up with other nations, depending in, I mean, having a group belonging to NATO and all those community?
I mean, the situation of Ukraine, let's put it this way. What you said is that that's a perfect order if you have a link with a nation. But Ukraine's situation at a point in time was that they had no link with any nation. So in the scheme of things, they are standing on their own. So if they had an official link, like Poland has with NATO, then you see, it would have been a different action.
Okay.
And that is what tells us now that virtually, not virtually, the Russian Federation will not attack Poland because they can see that, look, they have a complete protection from NATO because they are part of NATO. And you can talk about Turkey also. Turkey too is part of NATO. So if there is anything, Russia will not attack Turkey. But you look at Ukraine. Ukraine had no official any country whatsoever. So what are they meant to do? They are powerless. So that is exactly what Kofi is putting across. That the sovereign nations declare interest over a nation. So if a particular nation has no other links that is solidly behind it by any of these 5 sovereign countries, then they are open to whatever abuse from other bigger sovereign nations. So it is too late for Ukraine now, if I put it that way. And it's similarly, Russia shares a border with Finland. If Finland today says they want to join NATO, it will be a similar thing happening to Ukraine.
They will go and bomb them.
Yeah. And again, if it happens to Finland, Western countries, as much as Finland is close to Western countries, they won't do nothing. It will be a similar situation. So, I mean, that is the situation at the moment. But like I said, I'm more interested in talking about what goes into my pocket over here and what comes out.
Well, that one tomorrow, God willing, we'll discuss that I mean, for the whole program, because we need to see the impact of the Chancellor's spring statement that he made yesterday, and Mr. Chebri will be on, and then we have Kojo as well. They will come and interpret all the small writings there. So Kojo and Kofi, let me say thank you very much for your submission today.
Thank you.
Right then, right.
Thank you very much.
Right. Now, Frank, do you think we are? I mean, a third world war is inevitable now. Looking at everything that is going on.
I tell you what, the outcome from today's NATO meeting is going to be very, very profound. And where I sit, my mind tells me that we are close. And the only button, China holds the power now. China is the decider. Should China today, China number 1 and India number 2.
Okay.
Should those two countries, I mean, Pakistan is in the midst, but not counted at that.
Yeah.
But India and China, should the two countries decide today not to support Russia or not to be neutral, it's okay, we are against, just like the way Second World War came and we saw countries falling in line.
Yeah.
You look at Japan. Japan was the first country to sanction Russia.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, they are far away from this end. Why? Because they want to please.
Yeah, they are masters.
They want to please. Japan might be a very powerful country.
Yeah.
But business-wise, they are so linked. They are so embedded in the US that anything that they do, their system is collapsed.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? Their system is collapsed. But they were the first to raise. Look, no refugees going there.
No.
They're not going to go there. But they were the first to sanction Russia. If India, China decides today that, look, we're going to move from our neutral position to support the West, China will not send some aid to Ukraine. That is fine. That's as far as they can go. Should they move that they're going to send military hardware to Ukraine to fight Russia, Third World War has begun.
Wow.
Because that will allow NATO members, Poland, to stage an attack. They will stage an attack and use that as a precursor. And that is it. Archie, you're gonna know them. I mean, these are people who go to country to overthrow governments. These are people who, I mean, Archie, the next I'm feeling, you're feeling for. Have you ever supported? An adversary country? You have to
no.
You have to ask a question: which country? Which countries? Which countries?
Wow,
Archie.
Well, thank you very much for that wonderful submission there as well, listeners. Interestingly, we've gone past our time of completion, and we are virtually 8 minutes past the top of the hour. But Frank, before we go,
actually, they should have a very good afternoon. They shouldn't forget property hours this evening. I mean, great show that is coming. And again, those who want to insulate their room, they should call their houses. Yes, 5% was knocked off. So yes, if you want to insulate your house, call me. Call me. We are not talking about fiberglasses. We are not talking of rock wool. Proper insulation that will cut your bill, but up to 50%.
I think we need a proper education on it. I think one of the programs. I mean, we need to have
actually it's something that is working.
With what is happening
it's
now,
magical. It's working.
If you don't have it, I mean, your energy.
So
Kojo,
call me. Kojo, call me.
Okay.
You got a house. You want to insulate it? Come on, call me. We insulate it for you.
Okay. All right then, listeners, we want to say thank you very much. But this evening, as Frank said, the Property Hour show will be coming your way, and KB Bossman and Vicky Newton will be hosting Farah London, and they'll be looking at the TTIP, big plans for housing and youth crime in Croydon, Surrey, in the UK. All right, we'll be having a candidate for Croydon mayor, who is one of us, in the person of Vicky Newton as well, joining in
Addington.
In Addington, okay. So for Addington, and so we have a nice discussion there. But Farah London she is vying for the Croydon mayor position. So it's going to be an interesting one. Join us exactly at 7 o'clock when KB Bossman hosts this wonderful people. Okay then. So this is why we bring the program to a close. But remember, exactly at 6 o'clock, I'll be bringing you a repeat broadcast of what took place on the BB Means Business show. Make a date with us when that comes your way as well. So on that note, I say have a lovely afternoon. But remember, if you need to cut your bills and stuff like that, as Frank said, well, just get in touch with us and we'll get to you how you can insulate your house, and then your energy price will drop by almost 50%. This is not child play. I'm telling you gospel. All right then. So we take this song from the Zongo man himself, and he's asking. The Russians are asking for the dollar. They said now we don't want the dollar again. But he's asking. He said, where is the dollar? When that song ends, you don't hear from us. It's with me, Archie, Mr. Frank Davis, Kojo D, Mr. Kofi Ali, and Mr. Olayomi saying have a top of the day. Bye bye for now.
Thanks for listening.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. The Power Word International presents Doing Good Outreach 2022 Free Medical Screening and Crusade. Theme, Run to Jesus Christ, Your Only Savior. Venue, Avatime Van, Wednesday, 6th April 2022. Avatime Amejofe, Thursday, 7th April 2022. Avatime Biakba, Friday, 8th April 2022. Avatime Jongwefeme, Saturday, 9th April 2022. Free medical screening starts at 6 a.m. each day. Crusade starts at 7 p.m. each night. To support this worthy cause financially, kindly contact us on WhatsApp 0044 7851 205626. Email admin@thepowerwordint.co.uk or donate via website at thepowerwordint.co.uk. Run to Jesus Christ, your only Savior.
Run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ, beloved. Run. Now is the time. Now is the day. Today is the accepted and appointed season for you to run to Jesus Christ. Run to Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.